Put your hands up. You're surrounded. The megaphone's shout hit me like a punch. I stood on my porch, barefoot, in a tank top and shorts, clutching a mug of black coffee. The Texas sun burned my eyes as I squinted at 3 sheriff's deputies crouched behind their cars, guns pointed at my front gate. My heart pounded, not from fear, but from disbelief. Me, Madison Harper, a retired U.S. Marine, staring down cops on my own land? This had to be a mistake. My German shepherd, Jax, growled low beside me, his ears pinned back. "Easy, boy," I whispered, my voice steady despite the chaos. Behind the deputies, a woman in a crisp white blouse stood by a golf cart, her arms crossed, a smug grin on her face. Her badge read Mandy Johnson, HOA president. I didn't know her, but I knew her type. She thought she owned this town. Problem was, my 15-acre ranch wasn't even in her HOA. I'd made sure of that when I bought this place last year, craving quiet after 12 years in the Marines. So why were cops at my gate? What did Mandy want? This wasn't just a mix-up. This was trouble. I took a slow sip of coffee, my eyes locked on the deputies. "I'm not in your HOA," I called out, my voice calm but firm, like I was back in uniform. The lead deputy, a guy with a buzz cut and a badge that read Brooke, shouted again. "Ma'am, step down slowly." I didn't move. Jax's growl grew louder, and I put a hand on his collar. My ranch, tucked just outside Willow Creek's fancy gated community, was my sanctuary. I'd spent months fixing it up, new fences, a vegetable garden, a barn for my 2 horses, Daisy and Colt. I wanted peace, not neighbors whining about my fence height or how many chickens I kept. I checked the deed 3 times with my lawyer, Abby Carter, to confirm, no HOA, no rules, just freedom. Yet here was Mandy, staring like she'd already won. I muttered, "This is insane." Then I saw it, a drone buzzing low over my barn, its red light blinking. My stomach twisted. Someone was watching me. The deputies didn't budge, their guns still up. Mandy stepped forward, her heels clicking on the gravel. "Ms. Harper, you violated community standards," she said, her voice sharp like a knife. "Noise complaints, unapproved structures, livestock issues." I laughed, short and bitter. "I'm not in your community. My land's mine." Her smile didn't waver. "We'll see about that." My mind raced. I'd heard rumors about Willow Creek's HOA. Pushy, petty, always sniffing around. But this? Calling cops on a veteran for no reason? This was personal. I set my mug on the porch rail, my hand steady from years of training. "You're on my property," I told the deputies. "Check your records." "I'm not HOA." Deputy Brooke hesitated, glancing at Mandy. That's when Jax barked, sharp and loud, his eyes fixed on the tree line. Something moved in the shadows. My marine instincts kicked in. Someone else was out there. I kept my voice low, calling to the deputies, "You might want to check who's sneaking around my land." Mandy's smile faltered for a split second. The drone buzzed louder, circling closer. I grabbed my phone and snapped a picture of it, my hand steady despite the anger bubbling inside. This wasn't just about fines or rules. Mandy had crossed a line, and I wasn't backing down. I'd faced worse than her in combat zones, sandstorms, ambushes, real threats. But this was my home, my peace, and she was trying to take it. The deputies lowered their guns slightly, confused. "Ma'am, we got a call about illegal activity here," Brooke said. "Illegal activity?" I shot back. "Like what? Growing tomatoes? Feeding my horses?" Mandy stepped closer, her eyes cold. "You'll find out soon enough." That's when I saw the smoke. A thin gray trail curled up from behind the barn, where Daisy and Colt were tied. My heart stopped. Jax yanked against my grip, barking wildly. "Fire!" I shouted, dropping my phone and bolting toward the barn. The deputies froze, unsure. Mandy didn't move, her face unreadable. I sprinted across the yard, my bare feet stinging on the gravel, my mind screaming one thing: my horses. If they got hurt, someone was going to pay. As I rounded the barn, the smoke thickened, and I saw it, a rag stuffed into the gas can by the fence, smoldering like someone had tried to light it. This wasn't an accident. Someone wanted my ranch gone, and I was about to find out who. I grabbed a bucket from the rain barrel and doused the rag, the hiss of water hitting flames loud in my ears. Daisy whinnied, pulling at her rope, her eyes wide with fear. Colt stamped the ground, restless. "It's okay," I said, my voice shaking as I untied them and led them away from the smoke. My hands trembled, not from fear, but rage. Someone had come onto my land, past my fences, and tried to burn it down. I glanced back at the deputies, who were now jogging toward me, Mandy trailing behind. "You see this?" I yelled, pointing at the soaked rag. "This is your illegal activity." Deputy Brooke knelt by the can, his face grim. "We'll need to call the fire marshal," he said. Mandy stayed silent, her arms crossed tighter now. I led Daisy and Colt to the paddock, my heart still racing. Jack stayed close, his fur bristling. Back at the gate, the drone was gone, but I knew it had recorded everything. Whoever sent it was watching, waiting. I turned to Mandy, my voice low and hard. "You called the cops, didn't you? You sent that drone." She didn't answer, just stared, her lips tight. The deputies were on their radios now, calling for backup. I didn't know what was coming next, but I knew one thing. Mandy had underestimated me. I was a Marine, trained to fight, trained to win. And this fight was just starting. My name's Madison Harper, and this is how it all began. Where are you watching from? Let me know below, because this story's about to get wild. The smoke cleared, but my chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe. I stood by the paddock, stroking Daisy's neck to calm her, but my eyes stayed on the soaked rag by the gas can. Someone had tried to burn my barn, my home, my life. Jax paced beside me, his barks now soft whimpers. The deputies were still there, talking into their radios, while Mandy Johnson stood by her golf cart, her face blank but her eyes sharp, watching me like a hawk. I wanted to march over and demand answers, but my Marine training kicked in. Stay calm, assess, act smart. I wasn't just fighting for my ranch now. This was about protecting everything I'd built. Deputy Brooke walked over, his boots crunching on the gravel. "Ms. Harper, fire marshal's on his way," he said, his voice softer now, like he sensed something was off. "That rag, looks like someone tampered with it." I nodded, my jaw tight. Tampered? Someone tried to torch my barn. He glanced at Mandy, then back at me. "We'll figure it out. Got any enemies around here?" I almost laughed. Enemies? I'd kept to myself since moving to Willow Creek, fixing my ranch, tending my garden, riding my horses. The only person I'd clashed with was Mandy, and that was just today. "Check with her," I said, pointing at the HOA president. Her lips twitched, but she didn't speak. As Brooke walked back to the other deputies, I grabbed my phone from the ground where I dropped it. The picture of the drone was still there, its red light clear against the blue sky. I zoomed in, my heart skipping. The drone had a logo, 3 letters, WCP. Willow Creek Properties? That was the HOA's parent company. My stomach sank. This wasn't just Mandy being petty. Something bigger was going on. I sent the photo to Abby Carter, my lawyer, with a quick text. "Trouble at the ranch. Call me." Abby was sharp, a friend from my Marine days who'd gone into law. If anyone could dig into this, she could. Then I heard tires on the gravel road. A beat-up pickup pulled up, and out stepped my neighbor, Johnson Reed, a grizzled farmer with a limp from an old tractor accident. He'd brought me eggs when I moved in, said he liked my quiet. "Madison, you okay?" he called, eyeing the deputies and Mandy. Saw the smoke from my field. His voice was rough but kind, and it hit me hard. Someone cared. I forced a smile. "I'm fine, Johnson, but someone's messing with my place." He frowned, glancing at the barn. "Heard the HOA's been sniffing around. They tried to find me for my windmill last year. I ain't in their club either." My eyes widened. "You're not in the HOA?" He shook his head. "Nope. They still came after me." That's when Mandy walked over, her heels clicking like she owned the place. "Mr. Reed, this doesn't concern you," she said, her voice cold. Johnson snorted. "Lady, you're on Madison's land, not yours. Back off." I felt a spark of hope. Johnson wasn't scared, and neither was I. But before I could say anything, my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "Leave now, or lose more than your barn." My blood ran cold. I showed it to Johnson, who cursed under his breath. "They're playing dirty," he said. I nodded, my mind racing. Who sent this? Was it Mandy? Or someone higher up? The deputies were now inspecting the gas can, and the fire marshal's truck pulled up, lights flashing. But my attention snapped to the tree line again. Jax growled, his ears up. I followed his gaze and saw it, a glint, like sunlight hitting glass. A camera? Another drone? My heart pounded. Johnson, stay with the horses, I said, grabbing a flashlight from the barn. I moved toward the trees, Jax at my side, my marine instincts on high alert. The deputies didn't notice, too busy with the marshal. Mandy watched, her eyes narrowing. I didn't care. If someone was out there, I'd find them. The woods were quiet, too quiet. My flashlight beam swept over the brush, catching something odd, a small black box half buried in the dirt, about the size of a phone. I knelt, my hands shaking as I brushed the leaves away. It had no markings, just a tiny red light, blinking faintly. My gut screamed danger. I didn't touch it, just took a picture and backed away. Jax whimpered, nudging my leg. Good boy, I whispered, my voice tight. This wasn't just a prank. This was a threat, and it felt like a trap. I glanced back at the ranch, where Mandy was now talking to the fire marshal, pointing at me like I'd done something wrong. I hurried back, my mind spinning. The black box, the drone, the text, the fire, it was all connected. But how? And why me? Johnson met me at the paddock, his face grim. Find something? He asked. I showed him the picture of the box. What the hell is that? He muttered. I didn't know, but I wasn't waiting to find out. I called Abby, my voice low. Abby, it's Madison. Someone's trying to burn my place down, and I just found a weird box in the woods. I need you here. She didn't hesitate. On my way. Don't touch anything. I hung up, my eyes locked on Mandy. She was smiling again, but it was different now, nervous, like she knew something I didn't. The fire marshal, a short guy named Pete, walked over. Ms. Harper, this looks like arson, he said, holding up the rag in a plastic bag. We'll test it for accelerants. I nodded, my throat dry. Test it fast, Pete. Someone's after me. He frowned, glancing at Mandy, who quickly looked away. That's when I heard it, a low buzz, faint but growing louder. Another drone. It hovered over the ranch, higher this time, out of reach. Jax barked, and Johnson grabbed my arm. Madison, this ain't just about you. They're coming for all of us. His words hit hard. All of us? Who else? I stared at the drone, then at Mandy, then at the black box's photo on my phone. My ranch was a battlefield now, and I was ready to fight. But what was I really up against? Tell me, where are you watching from? This is just the start. The drone's buzz faded into the distance, but my pulse didn't slow. I stood by the paddock with Johnson, gripping my phone, the photo of that creepy black box burning in my mind. Jax stayed close, his fur still bristling, while Daisy and Colt grazed nervously behind us. The fire marshal, Pete, was bagging evidence near the barn, and Mandy Johnson lingered by her golf cart, whispering to Deputy Brooke. Her smug look was gone, replaced by something jittery, like she was hiding something big. Johnson nudged me, his voice low. Madison, you gotta watch her. She's not just some HOA lady. I nodded, my gut telling me he was right. This was no simple neighbor dispute. Someone wanted me gone, and I needed answers, now. I walked toward Pete, my boots sinking into the soft dirt. Pete, you got anything yet? I asked, keeping my voice steady. He looked up, wiping sweat from his brow. Rag's got gasoline on it. Someone meant business. We're sending it to the lab. I pointed to the woods. There's a box out there, too. Black, blinking light. You need to see it. Pete's eyes narrowed. A box? Show me. Before I could, Mandy cut in, her voice sharp. Ms. Harper, stop wasting everyone's time. This is your mess, not ours. I spun around, my patience gone. My mess? You called the cops, Mandy. You sent that drone. And now my barn's almost toast. Explain that. She crossed her arms, her lips tight. I protect this community. You're the problem, with your noisy animals and junky fences. Johnson stepped up, his voice gruff. Lady, she ain't in your HOA. Neither am I. So why you here? Mandy's eyes flicked to him, Then back to me. You're both a threat to property values, she snapped. We have standards. I laughed cold and hard. Standards? Like setting fires. Deputy Brooke stepped between us, his hands raised. All right, calm down. Ms. Harper, show us this box. I led him and Pete to the woods, Jax trotting beside me. The box was still there, its red light blinking like a heartbeat. Pete crouched, frowning. Looks like a tracker or camera. We'll take it in. My stomach twisted. A camera? Someone was watching my every move. Back at the ranch, Abby's silver SUV pulled up, kicking up dust. She jumped out, her short blonde hair catching the sun, her lawyer face on. Madison, you okay? She called, striding over. I hugged her quick, feeling a weight lift. Not okay, Abby. They tried to burn my barn, and I got this. I showed her the text from the unknown number. Leave now, or lose more than your barn. Her eyes widened. This is serious. Who sent it? I glanced at Mandy, who was now on her phone pacing. Bet it's her, I said. Abby shook her head. Maybe, but she's not smart enough to pull this off alone. She turned to Pete. You got evidence of arson? Pete nodded. Gasoline on the rag. And this box is weird. Could be surveillance. Abby's jaw tightened. I'm pulling county records on Madison's property. Something's off. Mandy overheard and marched over, her voice loud. You're wasting your time, Ms. Carter. Madison's breaking every rule we have. Abby didn't flinch. She's not in your HOA, Mandy. I checked her deed myself. Want to explain why you're harassing her? Mandy's face went red. I don't have to explain anything to you. She turned to Brooke. Deputy, do your job. Arrest her for illegal activity. Brooke looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, we need evidence. Right now, it looks like someone's targeting her. Mandy huffed, her eyes darting to the woods. That's when I saw it. A shadow moving fast between the trees, too quick to catch. Jax barked, loud and sharp. Someone's out there, I said, grabbing Abby's arm. She nodded, pulling out her phone. I'm calling a private investigator I know, Nate. He's ex-Marine like you. He'll dig into this. I nodded, my heart racing. Good. Because this isn't just about me anymore. Johnson, who'd been quiet, spoke up. Madison, I heard talk at the feed store. Other folks got trouble with the HOA. Folks not even in it. Like Brooke's cousin, Ellie. They fined her for her goat pen. Then her shed burned down last month. My eyes widened. Burned down? Like my barn almost did? He nodded. Exactly. I turned to Mandy, my voice low. Who's behind this, Mandy? Who's paying you? She froze, then laughed, too loud. You're paranoid, Ms. Harper. Maybe you should leave before you cause more trouble. I stepped closer, my marine stare locking onto her. I don't scare easy. You picked the wrong fight. She backed up, her phone slipping from her hand. It hit the ground, screen up, showing a text. Keep her quiet. WCP. My heart stopped. WCP, Willow Creek Properties, the same logo on the drone. I grabbed the phone before she could, holding it up. What's this, Mandy? Who's WCP telling you to silence? Deputy Brooks snatched the phone, his face hard. Ms. Johnson, you got some explaining to do. Mandy stammered, that's private, but Brooke was already reading. Pete jogged over, holding the black box in a gloved hand. This thing's got a WCP logo too, he said. My mind spun. Mandy wasn't just a nosy HOA president. She was working for someone big. Abby grabbed my arm, her voice urgent. Madison, we need to get to the county office. If WCP's involved, they're after your land. I nodded, but then I heard it, a low rumble, like an engine, coming from the road. A black van slowed by my gate, windows tinted, no plates. Jax went wild, barking like crazy. Johnson whispered, that's no delivery truck. My hands clenched. Whoever was behind this was closing in, and I wasn't running. What's your take? Where are you watching from? This is getting intense. The black van idled by my gate, its engine growling like a threat. My heart pounded, but I stood firm, Jax snarling at my side. Deputy Brooke still held Mandy's phone, his eyes scanning the WCP text, while Mandy's face went pale. Abby whispered, Madison, that van's bad news. Stay sharp. Johnson nodded, his hand on his pocket, where I knew he kept a small knife from his farming days. The fire marshal, Pete, clutched the black box, looking nervous. My ranch felt like a war zone, and my marine instincts screamed to take control. I wasn't letting anyone scare me off my land. I stepped toward the gate, my voice loud. Hey, you, in the van. This is private property. Get out. The van's engine revved, then it peeled out, kicking up gravel. I memorized its shape, no plates, tinted windows, a WCP sticker on the back. My gut twisted. Willow Creek Properties was everywhere, drones, boxes, now this. Abby grabbed my arm. Madison, don't chase it. We need evidence, not a fight. I nodded, but my blood was boiling. They're not just after me, Abby. Johnson said others got hit, too. Johnson spoke up, his voice rough. Ellie's shed. Burned last month. And Old Man Carter's orchard. Fences cut, trees poisoned. None of us in the HOA. Mandy tried to slip away, heading for her golf cart, but Brooke stopped her. Ms. Johnson, you're staying put, he said, his voice hard. This text says keep her quiet. Care to explain? Mandy's eyes darted around. I don't know anything. That's not my phone. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Not your phone? It was in your hand, Mandy. She stammered, someone's framing me. Pete shook his head, holding up the black box. This has WCP's logo, same as your text. You're in deep, lady. Mandy's hands shook, but she clamped her mouth shut. I could see it, she was scared, and not just of us. Abby's phone rang, and she stepped aside to answer. Nate, yeah, get here fast, she said, her voice low. We've got arson, a tracker, and a van with no plates. She hung up and turned to me. Nate's 20 minutes out. He's got contacts at the sheriff's office. We'll find out who's behind WCP. I nodded, but my eyes caught something by the barn. A piece of paper stuck to the fence, fluttering in the breeze. I jogged over, Jack's following, and yanked it off. It was a typed note, no signature. Sell now or lose everything. You're number 3. My heart stopped. Number 3? What did that mean? I showed it to Abby, who frowned. This is a pattern, Madison. We need to talk to Ellie and Carter. Johnson overheard and stepped closer. I can get Ellie here, he said. She's tough, runs a goat farm down the road. She'll tell you what they did to her. I nodded, my throat tight. Call her, Johnson. I want answers. He pulled out his phone, but before he could dial, a woman's voice called from the road. Madison Harper? A young woman, maybe 30, stood by a beat-up Jeep, her dark hair tied back, a worried look on her face. I'm Ellie Brooks, Johnson's cousin. I heard about the fire. Same thing happened to me. My jaw dropped. She'd come on her own, like she knew I needed her. Ellie walked over, her boots scuffing the dirt. Last month my shed burned. HOA said it was my fault, but I found a gas can just like yours. Then I got a note, you're number 2. I ain't in their HOA either. I showed her my note, and her face went white. Number 3, she whispered. Someone's counting. I felt a chill, like the air had turned cold. Counting what, Ellie? Properties? People. She shook her head. I don't know, but my goats got sick after. Vet said poison in their feed. My mind flashed to Daisy and Colt. Were my horses next? Deputy Brooke joined us, still holding Mandy's phone. Ms. Brooks, you got evidence of that fire? He asked. Ellie nodded. Got pictures? The can, everything. Sheriff didn't care, said it was an accident. Brooke frowned. I'm starting to think the sheriff's office missed a lot. Mandy shouted. You're all crazy. This is a setup. But no one listened. Pete walked over, his face grim. Madison, we found another box. By your mailbox. Same kind, blinking light. My stomach dropped. 2 boxes now. Were they watching me from every angle? Abby pulled me aside, her voice urgent. Madison, I checked online while on the phone. WCP isn't just an HOA company. They're buying up land around Willow Creek. Big money. Your ranch, Ellie's farm, Carter's orchard. They're all in their way. My head spun. A land grab? That's why they wanted me out. I looked at Ellie, who was hugging herself, her eyes wet. They took my dad's farm, she said softly. He died, fighting their fines. I'm all that's left. My heart broke for her, but it also lit a fire in me. I grabbed her hand. Ellie, we're fighting back. Together. Before I could say more, Jax barked, his head snapping toward the house. A crash echoed from inside, like glass breaking. My blood ran cold. Stay here, I told Ellie and Abby, grabbing a shovel from the barn. Johnson followed, his knife out. Madison, you ain't going alone, he said. I nodded, grateful but scared. We crept toward the house, Jax leading the way. The front door was open, swinging in the wind. Inside, my kitchen window was shattered, and on the table sat a single dead crow, a note tied to its leg. I untied it with shaking hands. Number 3's time is up. My knees went weak, but I stood tall. Someone had been in my home. This wasn't just about land anymore, it was personal. Where are you watching from? Tell me, because this fight's getting bigger. My hands shook as I held the note, the dead crow staring blankly from my kitchen table. The words number 3's time is up burned into my brain. Jax whimpered, pressing against my leg, his warmth the only thing keeping me grounded. Johnson stood by the broken window, his knife still out, his face pale. Madison, this ain't right, he said, his voice low. They're in your house now. I nodded, my throat tight. My home, my safe place, was violated. I'd faced danger overseas, but this was different, this was personal. And it hurt deep. I set the note down, my Marine training pushing through the fear. Johnson, check the back door, I said. I'm calling Abby. I stepped outside, my boots crunching on the glass, and dialed Abby. She picked up fast. Madison, what's wrong? Her voice was sharp, worried. Someone broke in, I said, my voice shaking. Smashed my window, left a dead crow and a note. Says my time's up. Abby cursed. I'm with Ellie by the paddock. Stay put, I'm coming. I hung up and looked at the ranch, Daisy and Colt safe in the paddock, Jax alert by my side. But the broken window felt like a wound in my heart. This was where I'd healed after the Marines, where I'd planted my garden, laughed with Johnson over coffee. Now, it felt like a target. Abby ran up with Ellie, their faces grim. Deputy Brooke and Pete were still with Mandy, who was now cuffed to her golf cart, arguing loudly. I didn't do this, she shouted. You're framing me. I ignored her and showed Abby the note. Her eyes darkened. This matches Ellie's note, she said. Number 2, number 3, what's the pattern? Ellie spoke, her voice soft but steady. My dad got a note before he died. Said number 1. I thought it was a prank, but then his farm was gone. My heart ached for her. I grabbed her hand. Ellie, I'm so sorry. We're stopping this. She nodded, tears in her eyes, but her grip was strong. I'm with you, Madison. Johnson came back, his face hard. Back door's fine, but I found this. He held up a tiny camera, no bigger than a quarter, its lens glinting, taped under your porch. My stomach dropped. They'd been watching me inside and out. Give it to Pete, I said, my voice steady despite the fear. Pete took it, frowning. Another WCP logo. This is big, Madison. Brooke overheard, his radio crackling. I'm calling the sheriff's office for backup, he said. This ain't just arson anymore. Mandy yelled, you can't pin this on me. I'm just doing my job. I spun around, my anger boiling. Your job? Breaking into my house? Threatening my animals? She looked away, her face twitching. That's when tires crunched on the gravel again. A blue sedan pulled up, and out stepped Nate, Abby's ex-Marine investigator. He was tall, with a buzz cut and a calm stare that reminded me of my old squad leader. Madison, heard you got trouble, he said, shaking my hand. His grip was firm, steadying me. Show me everything. I walked him through it. The rag, the boxes, the camera, the crow. His face stayed calm, but his eyes were sharp. This is organized, he said. WCP's not just an HOA front. They're buying land for a development. Big money, maybe corporate. I frowned. Corporate? Like who? Nate lowered his voice. I found records. WCP's tied to a company called Apex Land Group. They've been grabbing ranches across Texas. My mind raced. Apex? I'd never heard of them, but it explained the money behind Mandy's moves. Abby joined us, holding a folder. I got county records, she said. Your land, Ellie's farm, Carter's orchard, all marked for redevelopment by Apex. They're using the HOA to push people out. Ellie gasped. They took my dad's farm for that. Her voice broke, and I hugged her tight, feeling her shake. We'll get them, Ellie, I whispered. For your dad. She nodded, wiping her face. Okay, what's next? Nate pointed to Mandy. She's the key. She knows who's calling the shots. We walked over to her, Brooke still holding her phone. Mandy, talk, I said, my voice low. Who's Apex? Why my ranch? She laughed, shaky. You're in over your head, Marine. You can't fight them. Nate stepped closer, his voice cold. We've fought worse. Spill it, or you're done. Mandy's eyes darted to the road, and I followed her gaze. Another drone buzzed low, dropping something small onto my driveway. It hit the ground with a thud, a black envelope. My heart stopped. I ran over, Nate behind me, and picked it up. Inside was a single photo, me, asleep in my bed, taken through my bedroom window. A note was scrawled on it, leave tonight or you're done. I dropped the photo, my hands shaking. Someone had been that close, watching me sleep. Jax growled, sensing my fear. Abby grabbed the photo, her face pale. Madison, this is bad. We need to get you somewhere safe. I shook my head. No way. This is my home. I'm not running. Nate nodded. Then we fight smart. I'm calling a contact at the FBI. This is bigger than Willow Creek. Ellie spoke up, her voice stronger now. I'm staying too. They took my dad. They don't get you. Johnson clapped my shoulder. I'm in, Madison. We're family now. Their words hit me hard, like a warm light in the dark. I wasn't alone anymore. But then I heard it. A faint beep from the black box Pete had left by the barn. Its red light flashed faster, like a countdown. Pete. I yelled, sprinting over. He grabbed it, his face white. It's a transmitter. Could be a bomb. My heart stopped. A bomb? On my ranch? Nate shouted, everyone back. We ran, Jax barking wildly, as the beep grew louder. My home, my animals, my life. Was it all about to go up in flames? Where are you watching from? Tell me, because this is far from over. The beeping from the black box echoed in my ears, sharp and fast, like a countdown to disaster. I froze, my heart pounding, as Nate yelled, get back. We ran toward the paddock, me, Abby, Ellie, Johnson, and Deputy Brooke, dragging Mandy with him. Jax sprinted ahead, his barks frantic, while Pete, the fire marshal, held the box, his hands shaking. It's not a bomb, he shouted, squinting at it. It's a signal jammer, but it's overheating, could still spark. My stomach churned. A spark near my barn, my horses? I couldn't lose Daisy and Colt. My ranch was all I had left after the Marines, the place where I'd found peace. Now it felt like a trap closing around me. I grabbed Pete's arm. Can you shut it off? He shook his head, sweat dripping. Need tools, maybe pliers. It's wire-tight. Nate stepped up, his voice calm but firm. Madison, get everyone to the road. I'll help Pete. I nodded, my Marine instincts kicking in. Ellie, Johnson, move Daisy and Colt farther out, I said. Ellie's eyes were wide, but she ran to the paddock, her voice soft as she calmed the horses. It's okay, babies, come on. Johnson followed, muttering, damn vultures, messing with us. I turned to Brooke, who was still gripping Mandy's arm. You taking her in? I asked. He nodded. She's not going anywhere till we sort this out. Mandy squirmed, her voice high. I didn't put that box there. You're all wrong. I got in her face, my anger hot. Then who did, Mandy? Who's Apex? Who's watching me sleep? Her eyes darted away, but she stayed quiet. Brooke pulled her toward his car. Save it for the station, Ms. Johnson. As they walked off, Abby grabbed my hand, her face pale. Madison, I just got a text from Nate's FBI contact. Apex Land Group's been flagged for shady deals, extortion, arson, you name it. My jaw dropped. Extortion? So they're bullying people off their land. She nodded. Yours is prime real estate. They want it bad. I looked at my ranch, the barn, the garden, the porch where I'd watch sunsets with Jax. It wasn't just land. It was my home, my heart. Tears stung my eyes, but I blinked them away. Ellie came back, leading Daisy, her voice shaky. Madison, I checked the horses. Colt's limping. I think he ate something bad. My heart sank. Poison like Ellie's goats? Get him to the vet, I said, my voice breaking. I'll pay Ellie. Just save him. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. This is my fault for dragging you into this. I hugged her tight. No, Ellie. They started this. We're ending it. Johnson jogged over, his face red. Vet's on the way, but I found something else. By your mailbox, another note. He handed me a crumpled paper. It read, Number 4's next. Sell or burn. My hand shook. Number 4? I was 3, Ellie was 2, her dad was 1. Who was 4? I showed it to Abby, who cursed. This is a hit list, she said. We need to find number 4 before they do. Nate and Pete walked up, the box now quiet, its light off. Got it disabled, Nate said. But it sent a signal somewhere. Someone knows we're onto them. My mind raced. A signal? To who? That's when I heard tires again. A white pickup pulled up and an older man stepped out, his face lined with worry. Madison Harper? I'm Carter Hayes, own the orchard down the road. My heart skipped. The orchard owner Johnson mentioned. You got trouble with the HOA, too? I asked. He nodded, his voice low. They poisoned my trees, sent me a note last week. Said I'm number 4. Ellie gasped, clutching my arm. That's him. They're coming for him next. Carter held up a USB drive, his hand trembling. Found this in my mailbox yesterday. Has files on Apex, plans, names, everything. I took it, my pulse racing. How'd you get this? He looked around, nervous. A woman dropped it off. Black coat, didn't talk. Just said to find you. My mind spun. A woman? Like the one in my competitor's story, a mysterious figure with answers. What's on it? I asked. Carter shook his head. I didn't look. Too scared. But it's big. Nate took the drive, his eyes sharp. I'll get this to my FBI guy. If it's what I think, Apex is done. Abby nodded. We need to move fast. They know we're talking. I looked at Carter, his eyes tired but fierce. Why'd you come, Carter? He swallowed hard. Lost my wife last year. This orchard's all I got left. I heard you're fighting. I want in. His words hit me like a wave. I wasn't alone, Ellie, Johnson, Carter, we were a team now. But then Jax barked, his head snapping toward the woods. A low hum started, different from the drones. I squinted and saw it, a red laser dancing on the barn. My blood ran cold. Nate. I yelled. He spun, spotting it. Sniper, he shouted, pushing us down. We hit the dirt, my heart pounding as the dot moved to the ground near us. Brooke yanked Mandy behind his car, yelling into his radio. We need backup now. The vet's truck pulled up, oblivious, and I screamed. Stay down. The laser vanished, but the hum didn't. Something was coming. Something worse. I held Jax tight, my mind racing. Apex wasn't playing anymore. They wanted us gone, and they weren't stopping. Where are you watching from? Share below, because this fight's about to explode. The laser that was gone, but my heart still hammered as I lay in the dirt. Jax pressed against me, his fur warm under my hand. Nate crouched beside me, his eyes scanning the woods, while Abby shielded Ellie nearby. Johnson was flat on the ground, cursing softly, and Carter clutched his USB drive like it was his lifeline. Deputy Brooke had Mandy behind his car, his radio crackling with calls for backup. The vet, Dr. Sarah, stayed low in her truck, her face pale through the window. My ranch felt like a battlefield, and I was back in the Marines, every sense sharp, waiting for the next move. The hum from the woods was gone, but I knew whoever was out there wasn't done. Stay down, Nate whispered, his voice steady. That laser wasn't a toy. I nodded, my mind racing. A sniper? On my land? This wasn't just Apex pushing for my ranch. This was war. I looked at Ellie, her eyes wide with fear. You okay? I asked. She nodded, her voice shaky. Yeah, but I'm scared, Madison. They killed my dad's farm. Now this. I squeezed her hand. We're tougher than them, Ellie. We'll win. Her small smile gave me strength, but my stomach twisted when I thought of Colt, limping from poison. Dr. Sarah crawled over, keeping low. "I checked Colt," she said. "He'll pull through, but someone mixed toxins in his feed. Same as Ellie's goats." My jaw clenched. "They're hitting us where it hurts." Nate stood slowly, checking the woods. "Clear for now," he said. "But we need that USB drive opened." Carter handed it over, his hands shaking. "It's all I got," he said. "If they're after my orchard, I'm fighting with you." His words hit me hard. This old man, who'd lost his wife, was ready to stand with us. I nodded, my throat tight. "Your family now, Carter." Abby pulled out her laptop from her SUV, plugging in the drive. "Let's see what's on it," she said, her fingers flying. The screen lit up with files, maps, contracts, emails. My heart stopped when I saw my ranch marked with a red X, labeled Target 3. Ellie's farm was Target 2, Carter's orchard Target 4. There was a Target 1, a name I didn't know, Laura Webb. "Who's Laura Webb?" I asked, my voice low. Abby scrolled, her face grim. "Says here she owned a vineyard nearby. Foreclosed last year after a fire. Apex bought it cheap." Ellie gasped. "That's number 1. My mind spun. Laura was the first, Ellie's dad the second, me the third, Carter the fourth. Apex was wiping us out, one by one. Nate pointed to an email on the screen. "Look at this. From someone named Director to Mandy. Says, secure Harper's land by any means. Bonus if done by July." Mandy, still cuffed, shouted, "That's not me. I didn't write that." Brooke shook his head. "Your name's all over it, Ms. Johnson." Then came the twist. Abby clicked another file, a video. It showed a man in a suit, face hidden in shadows, talking in a low voice. "Willow Creek's ours. Clear the targets, no traces. Start with Webb, then Brooks, Harper, Hayes. Use the HOA as cover." My blood ran cold. This was bigger than Mandy, bigger than Apex. Nate leaned in, his voice hard. "That's a hit list. And they're not stopping." I looked at Ellie, her face pale, then at Carter, his eyes fierce. "We need to find Laura Webb," I said. "She might know who this director is." Before anyone could answer, a new sound cut through the air, a loud crack, like a branch snapping. Jax growled, his ears up. I spun toward the woods, my heart racing. "Nate, you hear that?" I whispered. He nodded, pulling a small pistol from his jacket. "Stay here." He crept toward the trees, but then a woman stepped out, hands raised. She wore a black coat, her face half covered by a scarf. "Don't shoot," she said, her voice calm. "I'm Laura Webb." My jaw dropped. "Laura? Number 1? Here?" Carter gasped. "Laura? You're alive." She nodded, pulling down her scarf. Her face was tired, scarred on one cheek. "Barely. They burned my vineyard, said I'd die if I talked. I've been hiding, watching Apex." She pointed to the USB. "I left that for you, Carter, to warn Madison." My heart pounded. "Why me?" I asked. She looked me in the eye. "You're a Marine. You don't quit. They're scared of you." Her words hit deep, like a spark in my chest. I'd fought for my country. Now I was fighting for my home. Laura kept talking, her voice low. "Apex isn't just a company. The director works for a bigger group, some kind of syndicate. They want this whole area for a resort." Ellie's voice broke. "A resort? They killed my dad for that." Laura nodded, her eyes sad. "I'm sorry, Ellie. I tried to warn him." I grabbed Laura's arm. "Who's the director?" She shook her head. "I don't know his face, but he's close, maybe in Willow Creek." Mandy laughed, sudden and sharp. "You're all fools. You'll never stop him." Brooke yanked her arm. "Shut it, Mandy. You're done." Then another twist hit. My phone buzzed with a new text from an unknown number. "You found Laura." Big mistake. Attached was a photo, Daisy, tied up in the barn, a red laser dot on her head. My heart stopped. "No," I yelled, sprinting toward the barn. Nate and Laura ran with me, while Abby shouted, "Madison, wait." I didn't stop. Daisy was family, and I wasn't losing her. Inside the barn, she was there unharmed, but a small speaker sat in the hay, playing a faint beep. Another trap? I grabbed Daisy's rope, my hand shaking, and let her out. Nate checked the speaker. "It's a decoy," he said. "They're messing with you." My knees went weak, but relief flooded me. Daisy was safe, for now. Outside, sirens wailed. Sheriff's cars pulled up, lights flashing. Brooke waved them over, still holding Mandy. Laura whispered, "We need to move. The director knows I'm here." My mind raced. A syndicate? A laser on my horse? Laura alive? This was bigger than I'd imagined, and we were running out of time. "Where are you watching from? Tell me below, because the real fight's just starting." Daisy's warm breath steadied me as I led her from the barn, but my heart still raced. That photo of her with a laser burned in my mind, a reminder of how close I'd come to losing everything. Outside, sheriff's cars lit up the dusk, their sirens cutting through the air. Nate stood by the barn, checking the decoy speaker, his face grim. Laura Webb, the woman who'd started this fight, stayed close, her eyes scanning the woods. Abby, Ellie, and Carter huddled near the paddock, protecting Colt and Jax, while Deputy Brooke marched Mandy to a patrol car. My ranch was a war zone, but I wasn't backing down. I was a Marine, and Apex had picked the wrong enemy. They wanted revenge? I'd give it to them. Nate jogged over, holding his phone. "FBI's on the way," he said. My contact saw the USB files. "Apex is done. Arrests are coming." I nodded, my jaw tight. "Good, but I want the director. He's behind this." Laura spoke up, her voice low. "I saw him once, at a WCP meeting. Wears a silver ring," deep voice. That's all I got. My mind flashed to Mandy's nervous glances. She knew him. I walked to the patrol car, where Brooke was locking Mandy in. "Mandy, last chance," I said, my voice hard. "Who's the director?" She smirked, but her eyes were scared. "You'll never touch him. He owns this town." I leaned in, my Marine stare unyielding. "He doesn't own me." Brooke pulled me back. "Madison, let us handle her." But I wasn't done. "Check her phone again," I said. "She's hiding something." He nodded, grabbing the phone from evidence. A new text popped up from D. "Plan B, clear out." My heart stopped. Plan B? I showed it to Nate, who cursed. "They're moving now," he said. "We need to hit their office." Abby overheard, her laptop still open. "WCP's headquarters is 10 miles out," she said. "I found blueprints. There's a server room. If we get their data, we get the director." I looked at Ellie, her face fierce despite her fear. "You in?" I asked. She nodded. "For my dad." Carter stepped up, his voice steady. "For my orchard." Johnson clapped my shoulder. "For all of us." We piled into Nate's truck, me, Nate, Abby, Ellie, Carter, and Laura. Brooke stayed to secure the ranch, promising to send deputies to WCP. Dr. Sarah took Colt to her clinic, swearing he'd recover. Jack stayed with Johnson's wife, safe. As we sped toward WCP's office, my hands shook, not from fear, but fury. They'd burned Laura's vineyard, killed Ellie's dad, poisoned Carter's trees, and tried to torch my home. Now they'd pay. Nate handed me a flashlight. "Stick close," he said. "This could get ugly." I nodded, my Marine training ready. I've seen ugly. The WCP office was a sleek building, all glass and steel, dark except for a single light. We parked a block away, moving quietly. Nate picked the lock, and we slipped inside. The air was cold, the silence heavy. Abby led us to the server room, her laptop ready to hack in. But as we turned a corner, a man stepped out, gun raised. "Stop right there," he said, his silver ring glinting. "The director." My blood boiled. "You're the one who sent the drones," I said. "The boxes, the fire, the crow." He smiled, his voice deep. "You're stubborn, Ms. Harper. Your land's worth millions. Sell, or you're next." Ellie lunged, her voice raw. "You killed my dad." Nate pulled her back, his gun up. "Drop it," he told the director. But the man laughed, backing toward the server room. "You're too late." He hit a button, and alarms blared. Files on the server screens started deleting. Abby dove for the controls, typing fast. "I can stop it," she yelled. I charged the director, my flashlight swinging. He fired, the shot grazing my arm, but I didn't stop. I tackled him, my Marine strength pinning him down. "Game over," I growled, twisting his arm until he dropped the gun. Nate cuffed him, his face hard. "You're done." Abby shouted, "Got it." I saved the files. The screens showed emails, bank records, plans for a resort, all tied to Apex and a syndicate. The director's name was there, Victor Klein, a real estate tycoon. Laura stared at him, her voice cold. "You burned my life." He smirked. "Business is business." I wanted to hit him, but I held back. Revenge wasn't just pain, it was justice. Outside, FBI cars screeched up, agents swarming in. Klein was dragged away, still smirking, but Mandy was in custody, and their empire was crumbling. Back at the ranch, dawn broke, soft and warm. Colt was back, trotting with Daisy, thanks to Dr. Sarah. Jax bounded over, licking my face, and I laughed, tears falling. Ellie hugged me, her smile real. "We did it, Madison." Carter planted a new tree by my gate, saying, "For all of us." Johnson brought eggs, joking, "You're stuck with me now." Laura stayed, planning to rebuild her vineyard. Abby handed me a deed, her grin wide. "Your land's protected forever." The FBI seized WCP's assets, and Klein faced trial, his syndicate exposed. My ranch was safe, but the fight had changed me. I'd stood my ground, not just for me, but for Ellie, Carter, Laura, for everyone Apex tried to break. I sat on my porch, coffee in hand, Jax at my feet. The moral was clear. Fight for what's yours, because nobody hands you peace. Apex thought they could scare a Marine. They were wrong. Now my ranch was a symbol, a place where we won. Tell me, where are you watching from? Share your story below, because standing up changes everything.